go to a connecting state, Indiana, where Kevin Wilson is ready to roll in his third season at the helm of the Hoosiers. To Chicago we go, listening to Coach Wilson.
Players walking in the halls, but a lot of great media guys, a lot of awesome coverage for Big Ten, and appreciate you guys here covering us today. We're excited. Coming out of last year, not a season we wanted, maybe made some strides on paper, maybe a little bit better record, but we got a great schools making a great commitment. We want to build a winning product and start getting the victories that we need. And the way you do that is with recruiting, and you do that with player development. Thought we had a really good winter. Everybody always says that, but just the energy, leadership, we've worked very hard with the group to kind of cultivate some internal leaders with our football team to take some ownership. So we got a very positive energy as we're working hard. One of our slings when I first got there was we're going to have fun working hard. Our kids worked very, very hard in winter, gotten a lot stronger. There wasn't one day in spring practice I wanted over. I thought we went through the motions. I think we're getting more physical. We've got a lot of kids now that are going into their third year of playing because we played 16 freshmen 2 years ago, 11 freshmen last year. You know, we've got 19 starters back, guys, and that's 19 on offense and defense. We've got our kickers back, our punters back, our long snappers a big-time player, our returners. So we got a lot of guys back. We've got a great recruiting class. And we're looking forward to getting started with our guys. We've had 130 players on campus this summer training. We'll have 105 for preseason. So we've got a walk-on program that's kind of growing as well. Very, very good recruiting class, and we're excited to see those young men. There's a lot of good energy with what's going on. Personnel-wise with our guys, we're very, very healthy. We came out of spring with no legitimate injuries, and as we've came off some minor things, we've got everyone full tilt and looking to be ready to go as we crank up practice next Friday. Our freshmen will report on Wednesday, our upperclassmen Thursday. We'll crank it up on Friday, August 2nd. But we've got, I think, again, a very much more mature team, a lot of guys back, a lot of positive energy, and a very, very healthy team. We're unsettled at quarterback. Got three guys in a dead heat, and it's not because I don't think we have a good player. I think we got three guys that are all very unique, can manage us. Haven't seen someone separate through spring. I don't know if anyone had particularly horrible days. I think we could look at some stat days and say this guy's stats were better and worse, but I thought we had a very, very healthy competition. Those guys are great teammates, great leaders, all three of them. I think they're all capable of winning. I'd love to see one emerge. The reason I don't have a quarterback here is because I'm not sure which one it is. If I did, I would have all three of those guys as representing us because they're three great leaders. But until I know which one's going to be our leader, I wasn't going to anoint someone. They're going to earn it on the field. Some depth at running back. Tevin Coleman out of Chicago land here, guys. A freshman's giving our returning starter a battle. Some quality receivers, I think, that can make some plays. Outstanding player at tight end. I think our offensive line is extremely undervalued in this league. I think we've got one young man for doubt that will be a phenomenal player through his college and next year, and I think we've got 4 or 5 guys that are going to be upper-level Big Ten players. We'll have a good offensive line. Defensively, a lot of guys back, lost 2 D tackles. We're going to be a little young inside, but I think more talented. We have to make significant strides defensively. We have, quite honestly, it's been a little embarrassing by how we've played in our first 2 years, so our effort, toughness needs to be better. I think that's going to increase because we did recruit some quality young players. There will be more competition in practice to get on our defensive field in games. We'll need to play better, and I believe we're going to field some quality special teams. Mitch Ewald, our kicker's here, and I think he's actually maybe the best in this league. He'll set every record at Indiana for points. I think he's an NFL-type player, and you guys will get a chance to see him while you're here. 8 home games. All 4 non-conference games, and again, we're really looking forward to next week. A lot of positive energy, and quote, being in the Big Ten, it's time we take a big step this year. Well, with that, we'll go to questions.
Ready for questions? We have one down front.
You guys have a lot of players returning. It seems like you still have a lot of youth on your team. I guess kind of what is the approach working with this group and getting ready to take it to the next level?
Great point. And we have a lot of players returning that need to be better because from where we were to where we want to be, that's why I think it's critical that we did have a positive winter, spring, and we'll see how summer's been. I think hopefully that's been very, very positive. But we're still maybe a sophomore, junior team, and we probably just signed on paper. You don't play the game on paper, and you can't believe every recruiting service and recruiting rating until guys really perform. But we probably got the most gifted class showing up as day one freshmen when we show up next Friday. But we're really a junior team. Offensively, our offense has a chance to be pretty solid. But if you look at it, you've got Kofi Hughes and DeWeese Wilson. Kofi's here with us, a senior. DeWeese Wilson at receiver. Ted Bolger at tight end. Stephen Houston as running back. That's the only 4 guys that crack the 2 deep. Defensively, our best players will be our young players, our freshmen and sophomores. So we're building, we're growing. We are, though, a veteran team. I think we're going to be 5th or 6th in the country with returning guys with starts. So we do have guys that are battle tested. We have guys that are getting more mature. But I do think we're a young team growing, and there's a lot of growth potential with our football program in these next few years.
I have a question right here in the middle, stage right.
Hey, Kevin. Pete DePremio, Fort Wayne News Sentinel. Just what do you need to see at the running back position? What has to happen for somebody to separate themselves, or do you want to kind of rotate a little bit?
If there's separation, great. I do think, Pete, most teams are going to play with more than one running back, NFL, college, whatever. The physicality of the position, the hits as you go through the year, the pace of play. So, we've played a couple, 3 running backs every year. Stephen Houston's a quality player, catches the ball well. Need him to be a very consistent practice player, leader, and a very physical player. For a big back, he plays with great speed and feet, catches it well. Love to see him play great without the ball, great in blocking, great in route running to spread and separate the defense when he runs routes, and really just be more consistent. A quality player, very good player, and a good leader for us. Tevin Coleman, a young man that's a very young. He'll be a 2nd year, played as a true freshman, excellent returner, very talented kid, and looking to just see how he grows and does he really take the next step to be an upper-level player for us and in this league, because I think he has a chance to be. He was highly recruited. He's very gifted. Then we have a couple complimentary players, D'Angelo Roberts and a couple freshmen we'll see, and a couple walk-ons. But right now it looks like it'll be those 3 guys, D'Angelo as a complimentary piece, and we'll see with Tevin and Steven. Coming out of spring, that was kind of those 2 guys, and quite honestly, Tevin probably had the better hand as we came through spring. He had a tremendous spring practice.
Ready for our next question? Got one over here, stage right again.
Coach, you talked about the quarterback battle
Where you at?
basically. Back here, Dustin.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, Dustin, sorry.
Anyway, you talked about the quarterback battle. How has kind of criteria changed for you over the years? You've had a quarterback battle every year you've been here. How do you look at it differently this time?
Well, the first year, I didn't know if we could throw it in the ocean and whatnot. And then last year we were kind of young and unproven, and Trey had played a little, and we had those, young guys. And that, the difference, I think Trey's back healthy and I think better than he was. But with Cam Kaufman getting 10 starts, which is actually he's played more snaps than anyone, and Nate Sudfeld being extremely gifted, it's a pretty unique deal. We need to play for our program to win, have the year we're capable of having. We need to be dynamic at quarterback. We can't be average and let the complementary pieces get us the victories that we need for our program and our fans and alums and school. So our quarterback's got to be a difference maker. And those 3 guys are capable, but who's going to be different and take it to the next step? We will be a lot more mobile at quarterback. We were going to be mobile with Trey. We were mobile with the other 2 guys. But Dustin, when Trey got hurt and we just had those 2 guys left, and that was really all we had to be very smart last year as young players protecting them. The amount of hits they take and the exposure we put them to contact, and really just for confidence, so they don't get out there and get shell-shocked and get battered. So we kind of played a little left-handed and wasn't able to play with a full deck. We also did not handle the adversity of losing our starting quarterback. And we led the league in passing, blah, 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 all that junk. Hey, man, once our quarterback got hurt, we lost 5 straight games. And a good football team needs to play with more than one running back, Pete, and we need to have more than one capable quarterback. And this year, we'll see if we can, because right now I think our quarterbacks are talented, but we haven't proven we're going to win a lot. So the criteria is we need to get someone that's going to be a difference maker, be dynamic, and help us win. At the same time, I am excited, and I think the difference between our offense and defense is competition. We have quality players on offense that are fighting to get on the field. Our challenges with our defensive recruiting this year, we'll start having some defensive competition to have better play from our defense, and hopefully have our offense go from being kind of average to start being really kind of decent.
The next question is down in front on stage left, Coach.
Coach Paul Condry. Kevin, when you look at what you were talking about, the dynamic of your quarterback, what is the deciding factor in your mind in regards to the dynamic? Is it arm strength? Is it his moxie on the field, off the field? Can you expand on what you mean by that?
Well, and so for example, with our three players, maybe greatest arm strength is Nate Sudfeld. Tall, very smart, young player, very good. Maybe greatest moxie might be Cam Kaufman. He's a little daredevil. He'll take some shots and take some chances, great anticipation and vision. The best athlete of the crowd is probably Trey Roberson. So they're all uniquely different. Now what we're going to do is run our spread offense, be a little bit up-tempo. We're going to throw the ball in space and try to be a team that can throw it pushing 70%, which we have yet to be. In the high 50s or mid 50s our first year, low 60s last year. This game has evolved with protection and quality route running and people understanding spacing. You got to throw the ball at 67 to 70, 72%. So one, the ability to complete the ball. Two, the ability not to move the offense but to score. Our offense moves the ball, but we don't score points proportional to moving the ball. And good teams score points, and when you score points, you win games. You don't win games by getting yards. You win games by crossing that G line or not letting them cross the G line. So it's points. So what we're looking for, they're all different with those different attributes, but a passing percentage that keeps us on schedule. A guy that gets to the fringe zone and gets his team in the end zone, and a guy that is going to protect the football.
Time for one or two more. Have one back here, stage right on the aisle.
Coach, you talked about the young defensive players and the recruiting class coming in. Can you just elaborate on that? And realistically, how much of an impact can they have in this being their first year of college ball, regardless of how highly touted they are?
Their talent level appears to be, seeing some of them in person myself, as gifted as many guys we've been playing with, just watching them, whether it be at camp, watching them in person. Now again, since TJ Simmons is the only one that's been here because he graduated early that we saw, quote, lift, run, workout, practice. And that's going to be a two-deep impact player at linebacker, a young man from Lakeland, Florida. 15 of those recruits are on defense. The skill set's pretty good on defense. We promise no one you're going to play and start, but I think we're going to have some competition. I think some of those young D linemen are going to give us some competition and depth. I think the linebackers, which we need to be significantly better at linebacker, are going to give us some competition, and I'm really excited about the corner and safety guys. I think a lot of those guys are going to be, if not too deep, fringe too deep. We'll see when the bullets start flying as some of those guys get on the field. My inclination says you'll probably see some of those guys on the field. Might be some growing pains, but we'll be growing with guys that run faster and are more talented. That's exciting to me.
That's all the time we have for Coach Wilson. Appreciate you coming up.
Thanks, guys. Great to be here.
Here's what the schedule looks like for Indiana. Indiana State, Navy, Bowling Green, and then Missouri before their Big Ten schedule gets underway, and it gets off with a bang. Penn State, at MSU, at Michigan. They also have to go on the road against Wisconsin and Ohio State in late November.